primero sí entendí que teníamos que sustituir al esposo. Ajá, por él, porque estamos hablando de él, pero aquí como es nosotros, está diciendo nosotros, no sabía cómo cambiarlo.
Ok.
Ujú.
Bueno, está bien, Priscila. Entendamos el contexto bien. Dice, my next door neighbors said. Ok. Quotation mark. ¿Quién dijo eso? ¿Lo dijimos nosotros o lo dijeron ellos?
Ellos.
¿Quiénes creen ustedes?
Ellos.
Ok. Dijeron, my next door neighbor said. Mis vecinos dijeron. Y, entre paréntesis, en quotation mark, we're going to Spain on vacation this year. ¿Estoy incluida yo en la oración ahí?
No.
No.
No. ¿Ok? ¿Ok? Como que yo dijera, mi papá dijo ayer, nos vamos a ir de vacaciones. ¿Ok? Ahí, eso sí lo dijo mi papá y estoy incluida yo. ¿Ok? Pero aquí, ¿quién lo dijo? The next door neighbor. Alguien más. ¿Cómo lo cambiaría?
They were.
Okay. It says,
They are.
my next door neighbor said they are going to Spain on vacation this year. ¿Por qué no where? Ahí es we are going on vacation this year. Va a pasar ahorita. This year is going to happen. Okay, so they are going on to Spain on vacation this year. A reporter speech is what the other person said. Estoy repitiendo lo que la otra persona dijo. Pero cuando yo lo repito, cambio los tiempos a veces y cambio el pronombre para que lógicamente dé sentido a lo que yo estoy repitiendo. ¿Ok? ¿Sí?
Teacher, hay una consulta. ¿Por qué en la primera cambiamos el tense del verbo be, y aquí en esta no?
Ok. Porque aquí, en la primera, está diciendo que esto lo hizo ayer. I am going to pick up some things at the pharmacy before the storm. So last Friday, my husband said he was going to pick up some things at the pharmacy. And the storm hit Saturday. Entonces, ¿en qué estamos? En el pasado. ¿Ok? Estoy repitiendo una acción que él dijo que iba a realizar cuando algo ya pasó. Y en la segunda está en presente porque dijo que va a pasar. Es un plan que ellos tienen. We are going to Spain on vacation this year. ¿Tienen planeado irse de vacaciones? ¿Cuándo? Este año.
Este año.
Ajá. Por eso es que ahí colocaron el they are. ¿Sí?
O sea que no siempre va a cambiar mis de presente a pasado, de pasado a...
Ajá. Yes. Ahorita lo están viendo todo en general, ¿ok? Esa es la idea de los...
Sí, porque en los ejercicios la mayoría van cambiando. Ajá, entonces, por eso... Ajá.
No, sí está bien, ¿ok? Vamos a ver la tercera. She told them this year's flu shot is not entirely protective against the flu. How would you change it? Is present. She told them only to remove the coma. Ahí no hay nada más que cambiarle. She told them this year's flu shot is not entirely protective against the flu. So the shot that you got this year is not protecting you entirely the flu. It's like the COVID shot. They are preventing from giving you the disease. The disease, you're going to have it. You're going to have COVID. But they are preventing you not to have it as strong as it is. That's what are the shots. This type of shot, obviously, the flu. ¿Han escuchado la inyección para la influenza? Sí. ¿Se la han puesto ustedes?
Yes.
Yes. They are now saying that if you got the shot, it won't give you, it won't happen to you. No. they're just a prevention of not having the flu so strong. That's what they should do. Okay? Number 4, he just said the danger of a flood is over.
Sería, he just said the danger of a flood were over, ¿o no?
Okay.
Over.
Let's see. It's over.
Eso es lo que me confunde. Ajá, me confunde porque él dijo.
Acaba de decir.
Lo entiendo.
Just said. Acaba de decir. Cuando dice just said, acaba de decir.
Cierto. Que fuera solo he said.
Ajá.
Entonces sí sería were over.
Yes. Was over.
Okay.
Was over.
Was over, perdón. Ajá.
Okay.
Gracias.
Don't worry. Number 5. We always say it's easier to take the train than drive. No?
We always say.
Yes? You don't change anything. I mean, change in the written way, you change. You remove the comma and you remove the quotation. But when you are paraphrasing what the other person is saying, we always said it's easier to take the train than drive. So that's what they say. Okay? When I was a child, my parents told me it's really important to get a good education. They still believe that today. How would you change that? Look at the whole context. Look at the whole context. ¿Ese creen que es it is or it was really important to get an education? They still believe that today. Hacen la aclaración. Sorry, ahí está. When I was a child, my parents told me it was really important to get a good education. Why? Because obviously when I was a child, that happened in the past. I'm not a child anymore, but I still remember that those were some of the things, the advices, the recommendations, the sayings that my mom and my dad used to tell me. Okay? Number 7. The National Weather Service is saying tonight's weather is terrible. Tonight's weather is terrible. How will you change? Yes?
The National Weather Services is saying tonight weather will be terrible.
Okay. Let's see.
Yo creo que es igual.
Yes, it's saying the same. Because it's saying right now, tonight's weather is terrible. So you can change in the future because you don't know if the weather will change in the future. That's why you're only repeating what she says. The in this case, the service. The National Service, the Weather Service is saying tonight's weather is terrible. Okay? That is the only thing that you are saying. Your parents just told me we want to leave for the shelter immediately. The storm is almost here. Your parents just told me we want to leave for the shelter immediately. And the storm is almost here.
¿Quedaría igual o no?
No.
Your parents just told me no. Your parents just told me they want to leave for the shelter immediately.
Okay. Your parents just told me they want to leave for the shelter immediately. Why? Because the storm is here. Okay. So they told me. Your parents told me. Quotation. We want to leave the shelter immediately. Y esa we want significa que lo dijeron sus papás, no yo. Entonces, cuando yo repito lo que alguien más dijo, your parents told me they want to leave to the shelter immediately. The storm is almost here. Okay? Got the idea? Yes?
Sí, pero digamos aquí, en la oración que tenía antes, en los otros ejercicios pusimos is and was y eso, ¿verdad? Entonces aquí solo puso they want. Entonces, no le pusimos un are o... sí, sería are.
Ok, porque aquí, sí, siempre le dan instrucciones, ¿ok? Siempre le dan instrucciones. Aquí la única instrucción que se le está dando es, escriba, write each speech de directo a indirecto. Cambie el verbo solamente si es necesario. Cuando usted realiza los otros ejercicios, en los ejercicios le indica cambie de directo a indirecto y cambie el verbo. Y usted ya sabe que un presente cambia a pasado, un pasado cambia a pasado perfecto. Un will cambia a would. ¿Ok? Solo cuando se le indiquen que cambie. No es una general que se puede hacer. Aquí se dan cuenta, tampoco hay imperativos. ¿Se recuerdan de los imperativos? Stay in your home. Don't go out. ¿Ok? Siempre revisen en My English Lab. Ahí les indican en las instrucciones qué es lo que quieren que cambie exactamente. ¿Ok? Va, ahora. No. Lo tenemos en el otro. Vamos a seguir haciendo de esto de indirect and indirect speech. Ahorita lo vamos a hacer. Ok, vamos a salir de aquí y les voy a decir en dónde. You go to the book. These exercises you have in the book. Aquí están los imperatives. We're going to go to the grammar booster. And the grammar booster, we're going to look for the unit number 5. Okay? And that's when they are saying, okay? And the unit number, aquí tenemos el primero, mire. Unit number 5. Okay? Sorry. Second here. Okay? Unit number 5, they are here. You have more exercises. Punctuation and rules. Okay? They are explaining you when they have the direct speech, the punctuation rules. They have the comma, they have the quotation marks. When writing direct speech, use quotation marks to indicate the words that the speaker actually said. Textuales. Put a final punctuation mark before the second quotation. So, a veces no sabemos qué va primero, el punto o la quotation. Ellos dicen que punctuation marks before the second quotation mark. So, final point or the final period viene antes o después de las comillas de cierre.
Antes.
Ok, eso es lo que les está indicando. Ok, now let's go for this one. In this one, they are presenting you this one. Ok, y les dan un ejemplo. On a separate sheet of paper, write and punctuate. Obviously, this is a writing exercise because the teacher is supposed to write, supposed to check that you wrote. Punctuated each of the statement in the direct speech. Follow the example. They said, tell us when you will be home. In this one, they are presenting you the what? the indirect speech, and they want that you tell me which was the phrase, the words that they said in quotation. Obviously, aquí yo analizo. They said, tell us when you will be home. Comma, quotation marks here. And that's it. Tell us when you will be home. That is the part. Okay? Always follow the instructions. Okay? En la plataforma de My English Lab, siempre, a veces no pueden realizar algunos ejercicios porque no, es algún puntito que se fue y usted lo colocó de más y no. Y la plataforma califica punctuation. Okay? How would you do the number 1? Martin told me, don't get a flu shot.
Martin told me, with comma, quotation mark, capital letter, don't get a flu shot.
Okay. Is it right? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Don't get a flu shot. Very good. Number 2. My daughter said, please pick me up after school.
My daughter said, comma, quotation mark, please pick me up after school.
Perfect. Very good. Number 3. The English teacher said, read the newspaper tonight and bring in a story about the weather. The English teacher said, comma, read the newspaper tonight and bring in a story about the weather. Number 4. We said, please don't forget to listen to the news.
We say, please, comma, don't forget to listen to me.
Very good. Number 5. They said, don't buy milk.
They said, comma, quotation mark, don't buy milk.
Very good. Don't buy milk. Number 6. We told them, please call us in the morning.
Then quotation mark, please call us in the morning.
Perfect. She said, please tell your parents I'm sorry I can't talk right now.
She said, please, comma, quotation mark, tell your parents I'm sorry I can't talk right now.
Okay, very good. Let's stop there and let's move to the other exercise that we have. A slide here, okay? Everything is about vocabulary, okay? Let me move this one here, okay? Choose the best word that complete each sentence. That is about general or vocabulary. A major blizzard hit the town with heavy snowfall and high. What would you choose?
Hopes.
High hopes, high winds, high temperatures, or high prices?
High temperatures.
Okay, one more.
High winds.
¿Qué es a blizzard?
Es un saco. Entonces aumentan los precios cuando hay tiempo de frío.
No. Estamos hablando de natural disasters. Natural disasters. Estamos hablando. Yes. O sea, está lloviendo, pero ¿qué? Nieve. ¿Ok? Yes, ventisca, como usted le dice. Entonces, ¿cuál sería? ¿Cuál sería lo más apropiado? Winds. high winds. Okay. Number 2, the flu left an estimated 25 million people dead.
Epidemic.
Okay. A battery-operated flashlight is a must when there is a outage. This is pure vocabulary.
Electricity.
Power outage.
Power
Hey.
outage. Power outage. ¿Se recuerdan? The power outage. ¿Qué es un power outage? Apagones. Ajá. My great-grandmother felt lucky to have Hurricane Cleo.
Survive.
¿Recuerdan de esta historia? ¿Es? ¿No? Donde relata cómo ella sobrevivió al huracán y ahí utilizan el say y el tell. ¿Ok? Recuérdense que todo es de la unidad. ¿Ok? Todo. The typhoon in Indonesia had the highest winds ever.
Cost.
Caused, instructed, recorded, or happened.
Recorded.
Okay. Yes. The weather forecast said that a storm was out of the way, on the way, in the way, or along the way.
In the way.
Okay. On the way. It's a preposition on. On, sobre. Modern buildings usually can moderate earthquakes. Modern buildings, so that means the buildings that are constructed recently, usually can moderate earthquakes. Recuerdan, there are different type of magnitudes of earthquake. Moderate, mild, strong, catastrophic. So prevent, cause, withstand.
Withstand.
Okay, ¿qué es withstand?
Como resistir.
Yes, very good. Okay, earthquakes that occur at night usually have higher because being inside is more dangerous.
Damage.
Okay.
Magnitude.
Casualties. No. Casualties. What are casualties? ¿Se recuerdan cuando leímos la historia? ¿Cuánto es cuando más muertes hay durante un terremoto? En la noche. ¿Ok? Porque la gente está dormida, no lo siente. Si usted no siente un temblor, probablemente no siente el terremoto y probablemente pasó lo peor y usted nunca despertó. Casualties. ¿Y qué son casualties?
Bajas.
Yes, but ¿se recuerdan del vocabulario? Yes. Casualties. People who are either injured or killed in a disaster. That is the meaning of casualty. Okay? Got the idea? Yes? Okay. Let's go for a stop there. And we're going to see, do you remember the last class we saw the first part of the video that a lady wanted to travel to a very calm place, not inside the city, in a rural area. and she was speaking about traveling to this type of place, and the other guy was presenting him different options, and the options that he was giving were traveling to, do you remember the name of the place? No? Traveling to? No? Yes?
Travel.
Okay.
The video when the woman went to travel to.
Presented, why do you want to go to Australia? Oh no, too many tornadoes. Why do you go to Thailand? Oh no, there is a typhoon there. Why don't you travel to this one? Oh no, because there is a landslide. And so she was asking all this. Now we're going to go to the second part, because there's always a second part, okay, where she's supposed to choose at the end of the first video, the first part. They were saying that, do you remember the country that she chose? Do you remember the country?
Finlandia.
Finlandia, yes. Okay, let's go. There are more people joining. Okay, just wait for this one. Okay.
Okay, I just booked your tickets to Helsinki, Finland. You'll be staying at the Palace Hotel.
That's great.
Excuse me, Mr. Evans.
Yes, Marie.
Mr. Woods is on the phone. He told me to tell you it's urgent.
Urgent?
He's traveling, you know.
Yes.
He said there's some kind of epidemic.
What kind of epidemic?
It sounds like it's that new influenza.
But he was vaccinated for that before he left.
I know, but he told me to tell you that he wants to fly home today.
On the internet, it says only 3 people are sick. That is not an epidemic. And it's not like anybody's dying from this flu.
He said he didn't want to be the first.
Where is he traveling, may I ask?
He's in Finland.
Finland? I just booked tickets to Finland.
Mrs. Beatty, everything will be fine. You'll get vaccinated, and you'll have nothing to worry about.
I'm not going to Finland. You told me nothing bad ever happens in Finland.
Mrs. Beatty, I can't think of anywhere in the world you can go and be completely safe. Right here in this city, you could go outside and get hit by a bus. But you can't let that stop you from doing the things you want to do. Look, why don't we go to lunch and we'll talk it over?
I don't think she's going anywhere.
Mr. Mrs. Beatty, and this is Marie, that is the receptionist. Okay, now according to the whole video, it says why Marie is interrupting them because they were talking. What was the interruption? What did she said? The idea is that you talk. Yes. The idea is that you tell me why was the purpose of her interrupting the conversation. What was she saying? What did she say? She said that, Mr. Evans, you had an important or an urgent phone call from Mr. I don't know, Mr. The name of the guy, and what is the problem? So basically, the guy was calling, and I want to what? What did he wanted?
Influence.
Okay, and it says that were a lot of cases of influenza, and where the guy was, he wanted to return home immediately. Okay, and Mrs. Beatty, the woman here, it says, where is he traveling? And where is he traveling? Where was he? Where was the guy?
Finland.
In Finland, the same country that she supposed booked the tickets to. Okay, now what was the recommendation that Mr. Evans did? And that's why she was like speechless. What was the thing that he said that really shocked her? It says, don't worry, you're going to be vaccinated. It's not influenza. It's just something that happened, and you're going to be fine, okay? So don't be so so drastic in your decisions. Be careful, and that's it. And the example, it says you can be hit by a bus when you go out from the building. And it was like she was in shock. Okay, that was the idea of the whole thing. Okay, now did you get the idea? They were using she said, she told, natural disasters, vocabulary. So the idea is that you get the idea of the whole video. Okay, let's do one more exercise, and then we watch a video. Okay, and we finish with that one, the unit number 5. Okay, so the last one is also about vocabulary. Okay, I give you the number 1. It says, to remove people from an area that is too dangerous, prepare, damage, or to evacuate. Evacuate, because you are evacuating people from a dangerous area and you're moving to a safe place. Number 2, when a large number of people have little or no food and die, that is
See?
See? Okay. Yes. A storm that consists in air spinning very quickly is?
Tornado.
Okay. It's a tornado. Something causes a lot of destruction, suffering, and death is something mild, moderate, or catastrophic.
Catastrophe.
A large wave that causes damage when it hits land, it's a tsunami, a landslide, or typhoon.
Tsunami.
Okay, yes. A long period of very dry weather. Flood.
Sí.
A long period of very dry weather. Dry weather.
Blizzard.
Yo tengo un clima seco, un periodo de clima seco. ¿Puede ocasionar una inundación?
Pero, no.
What's wrong with you today? A drought. A drought. ¿Qué tienen ustedes? ¿No han desayunado? No. ¿No han tomado cafecito todavía? Okay.
No.
Ok. No los miro yo, entonces ahí tomen su café. Yo los estoy viendo. Ok. A widespread event in which many people become sick with the same illness. A widespread. Spread is when se expande rápidamente.
Epidemic.
Okay. Now, ahora que agarraron el ritmo, ya sé. Okay. Now, remember that everything is about vocabulary, okay? You're supposed to have vocabulary and vocabulary. Now that you get all the idea of a natural disaster, conclude this one. Obviously, we've been seeing that what are the causes of a natural disaster? What is a natural disaster? The preparations that you're supposed to have in a natural disaster. What after the natural disaster, what do? After that, what do we do in real life? So I brought you, this is the last to close this one, a video. We won't watch the whole video, but this is a reality that is happening around the world. It says psychological effects of natural disasters. I know that, and this is very real. And since the level you are, obviously you're going to understand this one. And it's real. After there is a natural disaster, obviously you lose your house. Probably no one has been affected so hard, or probably someone. So I don't know, probably. But you faced with no house, no car. Everything that you have worked for the last 20 years, everything that your mom, your dad have worked for entire life is vanished. There is no house. There is no money. There's nothing. So what are the psychology, or when it finished? Okay, so what do we do? It's a 5-minute video. It's an interview, and they are interviewing a psychologist because they had a volcanic eruption, and it's a Tal volcano eruption. Okay, those are some of the eruptions that we have. Let's listen.
And psychologically to help us understand. The eruption of the volcano has taken its toll on the victims, not only physically, but also emotionally and psychologically. To help us understand all this, we are now joined in the studio by clinical psychologist John Carandang from the Masters Psychological Services. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Okay, now the eruption of the volcano has destroyed several houses, a lot of property, a lot of agriculture, as well as infrastructure and sources of livelihood, and the threat is still there. What's the effect of natural disasters on the mental health of the affected population?
Yeah, the victim might suffer from a post-traumatic stress disorder after the incident of the volcanic eruption. It is a mental health condition that can cause triggers by the fearful situations like disasters. So it might be dangerous for the victims or the survivors. Not all will be suffer from the mental health condition, but it depends on how they were able to cope after the stressful events like this.
Who would be most vulnerable to suffering this post-traumatic stress?
Basically, the children and even the elderly, because they were even able to probably experience the elderly probably experienced the eruption maybe 1965 years, so it might be trigger their fear, and then the children might have the idea of ano nangyayari, what's wrong, what happened to us, something like that, or and what is their coping mechanism. They don't know how to do them.
Right, and aside from the stress.
Okay, basically, she was asking, after this happened, probably, what are the causes? What are the damages that psychologically might affect people? And they were saying that they affected main two categories of people. Which were the two categories of people that are like more willing to have a post mental health problem? No? Did you get my question? They were two categories. Who is going to suffer after a volcano eruption, after a natural disaster? Obviously, you got affected because you lose everything. Some people tend to develop well, but some other will have a post-traumatic health problem, mental health problem. And some of these problems could be could affect to two categories of people. And he mentioned two. Children and elderly. Children, you're doing que son elderly. 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 Elderly comes from old.
Ancianos.
Yes, los ancianos. Las personas mayores de la tercera edad. Okay. Elderly people. Okay. That's what basically he was saying. Not all the people is going to tend to develop this condition, but some of them. Okay. And something that triggers that, que detona eso, puede ser. ¿Han visto que hay personas que han estado en algún accidente de carro y que escuchan freno o un choque y se quedan como en shock? Hay algo que detona, eso es trigger, que detona esto, ¿ok? One more minute more.
The uncertainty. There's also the stress of just living in the uncomfortable conditions of an evacuation center. Let's talk about that. What are the effects of that?
Yeah, I remember when I went there last Friday, the children there were really so afraid of what will be their future after this. They might they miss already their schools, their classmates, and it might be they become more hopeless, like the adults. What will be their life after? So it might be stressful for them if they feel anxious for them. So it really is so painful to see them looking that they were smiling when they were receiving goods, but at the back of their mind, they were able to see some fears and something like depression or some feelings like this.
Right, as there's so much more behind that smile. Take us through how.
Okay, look at the shelter. Look at the shelter where they are. Where is the Tal volcano? Where is the Tal volcano? Where do you think it is?
Asia.
In Asia. Exactly what place? A ver si son bien observadores. Ahí les dicen dónde. Yes. Live. CNN. Philippines. The Tal volcano is in Philippines. Look at all the pictures. So basically at the end, well, not at the end, but in this case, they were saying that they tried to get help from different ways to people. And children are really afraid what is the future. So I won't have the house. I won't have anything to eat. What are we going to do, mom and dad? And there's more pressure about mom and dad. Why? Because they're mom and dad. They're supposed to take care of them. So it's a kind of condition that is very, very delicate. Okay. And at the end of the video, they give certain type of recommendations if you want to listen. Okay. So I will give you the link of the video of the interview so you can watch it later if that's what you want. Okay. And on Monday, we continue with the review of the unit number 6 That is about your life plans. Okay. Remember that the units they didn't have too much grammar, but they have a lot of vocabulary. If vocabulary means words, if you don't get a word, you won't get the idea of something. Okay, so try to study the vocabulary. Try to review when I'm reviewing certain type of things. You have questions, you let me know. Okay, are there any questions, guys? No.
No, teacher, thanks.
Okay, so now you can drink your coffee.
Sorry, teacher.
Yes?
On Monday, which unit we are going to review? The number 6?
Number 6.
Okay.